estate transactions are complex processes that involve time and substantial financial exchanges. You kind of already know this. One key aspect of this process is closing costs. What exactly do closing costs entail? How are they paid? Are they mandatory? I am going to shed some light on this in this upcoming segment. Hello, I'm Bjorn with Hewitt Jackson Real Estate, aka Bjorn to Sell. And for returning viewers, a thumbs up is greatly appreciated. To new viewers, your support is important, so please give a thumbs up and subscribe. So let's start this off with a definition. Closing costs involve various fees and payments for services that must be settled during a home closing, involving both home buyer and the seller. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week. That's all you need to know. I wish it was that easy. This topic has many aspects, so let's start to unpack this with the following caveat. Every real estate transaction is unique, and things like closing costs are going to be unique to each transaction. What we're going to do today is dangerously paint in broad strokes and attempt to examine common closing costs that you may see. Any payment that a buyer or seller is responsible for at the time a property sale is finalized or closed is considered a closing cost. These costs are typically directed towards service providers facilitating the property transaction, such as mortgage lenders or banks, title companies, local county records, real estate agents, homeowners insurance, and home warranty stuff. As we will see, both parties will have slightly different closing cost obligations. Many of the fees incurred by the buyer at closing are associated with getting the home loan and are part of the mortgage expense. So that's going to be things like loan origination fees, processing fees, credit checks, maybe that appraisal will be wrapped into that. These are common ones that we see the buyer having to pay for from the loan side of stuff. You will also probably have to make that initial premium payment for homeowners insurance. And quite often you have to have that title insurance paid for also, which protects your home against future claims against that title. You might also have home inspection fees on there and some various other things like that that maybe weren't paid for out of pocket right off the bat. There may be some legal services on there. If you choose to use a real estate attorney to facilitate your transactions, you can expect that. You might also see accumulated interest on the loan between the closing date and the first mortgage payment, kind of that prepaid interest thing. What about the sellers? What are you responsible for? Do they have closing costs? Indeed. Sellers also bear specific expenses, typically deducted from the proceeds of the closing. These may include commissions paid to the listing agent's broker, which may cover both the seller and the buyer's agent's commission, charges from the seller's local government to file transaction documents, government-imposed taxes on the property transfer based on the sale price. In some cases, payment of the owner's title insurance premium, payment for outstanding liens, unpaid property taxes, or other dues before closing. Other costs, like things for repairs that were agreed on during the inspection period, might come out of that as well. That's, again, where it gets unique to each transaction. I warned you, this topic is vast. Hopefully this information helps to make a little bit more sense out of this often misunderstood topic. I do really want to reiterate that each transaction is unique, so closing costs are going to vary. When you're getting ready to buy or sell your home, we will have a deeper discussion on this topic. We will also talk about getting a solid estimate of what these costs will look like for your side of the transaction. When the deal is actually getting close to closing, you will get a final settlement statement, and this statement will break down line by line where each and every dollar of a transaction is going, including the various closing costs and fees that we just got done talking about. When you get this statement, again, usually a couple days before closing, make sure you go through it and look at each item. Even more importantly, ask questions if something seems, well, hinky. Your realtor, aka me, will answer any questions or find someone who can answer those questions for you. Speaking of questions, if you have any questions or want more information, feel free to please use the comments below and let's get a discussion going. I also want to remind you one more time to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And maybe even share this with a friend, coworker, neighbor down the street, whatever, anybody who you feel might need some real estate knowledge. That's all I got for today. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this helped make a little bit more sense out of this complex topic for you. And until next time, be kind to one another.